So I stopped drinking around 4.5 months ago. The reason that I stopped is because for me, I just didn't think it was like benefiting to my life at all in any way. I've got 2 really small children. I run a lot, so I've recently signed up to a marathon. I've recently done a half marathon, and it just doesn't bring the best out in me at all. So I just made a decision after a horrendous night out that I just needed a complete break from it. And I remember saying to my friend at work, like, oh, she asked me a question like, how long have you not been drinking for? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I looked, it had been 100 days, but I'd not thought about it. Because I think from my partner saying to me, stop putting a label on it, like putting so much pressure on yourself, just see how you feel and just roll with it. And if you feel better, then good for you. And if you don't, then you don't. Now we're 4.5 months in and I'm about to run a marathon. But I think me and my partner now making more of a conscious effort, like regardless of the rain, you're not gonna melt. Let's get up and get dressed and go outside. Like where I think when you're hungover, you can't think of anything worse than being outside in the rain. You're already feeling a bit depressed the next day because you're hungover. The weather makes you feel a bit sad, it's grey. Where now it's a bit more like, it's raining, put your Wellington boots on, we're all gonna go for a splash because, and I say it all the time now, like, but you can choose to wake up and be happy. And that can some days be a choice. And now I'm not drinking, it's like, well, it's not a choice anymore. Let's just wake up and be happy because that's all they'll remember. And that's what I want them to remember is we're getting up and doing something, not, oh, we're getting up and we didn't do anything because mummy didn't feel well. And I think that was massive for me. I think initially the biggest challenge was like how am I gonna be what everyone else wants me to be without a drink? And then I remember we went to our friend's wedding, whose hen do it was that I decided not to drink at. And as soon as I walked in, my partner just went straight to the bar, got me a non-alcoholic beer and was like, just hold it and see how you feel. And I said to him beforehand, but like, what if I have a drink? And he was like, then you have a drink. Like, and he kept saying to me, you're not an alcoholic. You don't have a problem. You've decided to have a break. Like, take the pressure off yourself. If you have a drink, you have a drink. You're with me, you're safe, you're fine. So when he bought me a non-alcoholic beer, straight away I felt fine. I was holding something, so I felt included. I felt like I could, because I talk a lot with my hands, I felt like I could have that conversation like I normally would. And then I remember as the evening went on, a couple of people were like, oh, it's so boring. And I was like, I'm the least boring person and I will not be boring in the morning when you're feeling awful. I'll be fine, so we'll just see how I go. No one there had a better time than me because they drank. I danced all night. My shoes were off, I was with my friends, I laughed, I caught up with people that I hadn't seen for a long time. And I did all that without having a drink, without being sick or being carried home or the regret the next day. I woke up the next day fresh. So I think for me, that was a massive turning point that, well, I can do it because I've been around that whole environment where really I would have wanted it and I didn't want it. I was fine without it. It's funny, since I've not been drinking, I feel very much more in touch with my emotions. I feel like I'm more confident in who I am not having a drink. So I don't mind saying no to people. If that upsets them, that's okay, because this is my life and this is how I want to live it and how I want to spend my time. And then I said to my partner, like, it's not just their childhood, it's my motherhood. So I want to be there for them, for everything. Oh, sorry. So I want to be present for them, regardless, and no amount of alcohol can make me want to change that now. I think I've seen a massive improvement in my skin, but I think that's, again, been a knock-on effect. I'd have a drink, I'd get a takeaway on the way home, the next day I'd want something greasy in the morning, like to get rid of my hangover. So I've seen a massive improvement that actually I don't massively eat takeaways now anymore, and if I do, it's more of a healthy, like an Italian rather than a kebab. And I just think for me, it's been like a full circle of, I feel better. I think definitely like putting that pressure on yourself is a lot. I think there's so many outside pressures already on people. Try this drink, or in a social environment, drink this, have a shot of this, taste this. And you know, you go in supermarkets and everything's 2 for 1 or it's on offer or whatever. And I think people just expect you now in social environments to have a drink or be drunk. Where I just think, for me, my advice was I just see how I feel on the day. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll feel on the day and then I'll just play it by ear. And I think having that label on yourself, like I don't drink and I'll never drink again, that puts a pressure on you, because what if you do? Who are you letting down? And then it's the guilt you feel yourself. Where I think right now I'm the happiest I've been in a long time because I'm choosing not to drink. And I think that's how you should live your life, like with that, just remove that pressure from yourself. Like, choose to have a good day, choose to not drink that day, and if you don't, then that's amazing. But if you do, that's okay as well. Like, it's your life and you live it your way. Just try and block out the noise. You're not going to tell me to have a drink or do anything that I don't want to do. If someone tried to say, oh, do you want to do drugs? I'd be like, no. The same now, that's how the same I feel about alcohol. Do you want a drink? No, I don't, I'm fine. But if you're buying, I'll have a full fat Coke, thank you very much. Or the most expensive mocktail.